Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. In our practice today, we'll be doing twisting poses, so most of the class will remain in seated. So to get started, find a comfortable seat. You may want to find something soft to sit on. So I'm just sitting on a blanket at the moment, but I may change and actually maybe sit on a block or even a pillow. So wherever you are, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, a lengthened spine. Even feel free at this point to sit in a chair if that feels more comfortable, or even propped up against a wall just to give your back a little bit more support. We'll start with a few deep breaths. Full breath in, just feel the lifting of the breath, the expansion of the chest, the opening of the heart. And exhale for the release. Again, breathing into fullness. Exhale to empty. You might even feel kind of the rise and the fall of your body. Just kind of go with that rhythm for this moment. The rhythm of the breath, the rhythm of your body. Rising up, flowing down. Again, flowing up, going down. Good. A few more times on your own. Just get into the rhythm and the flow of your breath. Good. All right, we're going to change that just a little bit. We want to maintain an uplifting sensation. So when we inhale next, just feel the breath rising, fill up your lungs. Keep this uplifting sensation, and with your exhale, you're going to pull or draw your belly button in towards your spine. We're creating the abdominal lock. So we create a sense of control, let's say, in the middle section of the body so you can maintain a lifted and lengthened torso. Again, breathing in, fill up the lungs. Exhale, draw belly in to create the abdominal lock. This is also going to help us with our twisting poses. So a few more times like that. There's still the rhythm and the flow of the breath, but you're going to feel this uplifting sensation and maintain that lifting sensation as we connect to the center body. Let's add a simple movement with the arms on the next breath. Here we go. Inhale, reaching out and up. Big stretch. Exhale, extend the arms out and down. Same thing with the breathing. We'll inhale, breath is rising, filling up the lungs as the arms go up. As we exhale, we draw belly button in towards spine to connect to the core, to maintain that uplifting sensation, but the arms are coming down. One more time. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, connect to center, arms come back down to your side. All right, we're going to do a little side bending and stretching just to assist the spine, but also the sides of the body as we get into our back bending. I'm going to use a block. I'm going to bring it over to my left side and kind of think of it as an armchair right here. And you can turn it to any level. Level 1, level 2, even level 3. Let's try level 1 at first. Just place your hand here. Now, we're going to stay nice and tall. Inhale, extend this left arm up into the air. Exhale, and to start to bend over to your right just a little bit, and as this right elbow bends. You can stay just like this, or if you have a little bit more space to move into without forcing it, you might even bring your arm all the way down to that block. Actually, I'm going to turn my block up one level so I don't have to go down too far. So there's my armchair. Here feels good. I'm just going to inhale, reach and stretch. This feels really good. Exhaling. Now the arm here in the air can remain straight, or you can even bring it down just to relax a little bit. Even let it rest on your head. Maybe let the elbow do some of the work as far as the pointing or the lifting sensation. Meanwhile, the left side hip is kind of plugging down into the floor or blanket, whatever you happen to be sitting on. And you're going to feel this nice stretch through that whole left side. The rib cage and all the muscles down the side of the body. It feels really good. And of course, if you have a vision of what your spine might be doing, just think of this arch that's created with the spine. All right, coming back up, and release this hand, reach up, push into that block to help rise up. So let's take both arms up into the air. And exhale, just bring the arms back down. That might have fatigued the shoulders, so you can kind of shake that out if you'd like. And we'll do the other side. I'm going to keep that level too. That seemed to work nicely. So inhale, extend right arm out and up. Exhale, start to lean over to the left. This elbow's already bent. I'm just going to go ahead and let the arm rest right there on the block. Inhale, reach again. And exhale. This is going to be my stopping point. This feels really nice. Relaxing the hand, coming down to the head, and just breathing into the expansion of the right side of the body. Nice lengthening, good stretch. Now you can hold these postures, these side bends, a little bit longer if you'd like, just to really open up the body. So we're going to do side bends. We're going to do one back bend as another way to kind of open up the torso, lengthen the spine, get some mobility in the spine, and then we'll finish with just a simple seated twist. All right, we're going to come back up. Reach both arms up with an inhale, and exhale, arms down to your side. And if you need to, kind of shake that out. All right, let's do a bridge pose. And we'll do a supported bridge pose using the block. I'm going to use the blanket here just for a little padding for my head. Nice to have props just to support the body. Gently roll down. Even feel free to bring both knees into chest. Add a little movement here. A bit of a massage, let's say, for the low back and your hips. And if you were seated cross-legged like I was, maybe a little motion in the feet and ankles just to open them up. You can do a little hip opener here, getting a little stretch in the inner legs if that feels good. Even circle the whole legs. And we'll get ready for our supported bridge pose. Go ahead and plant the feet into the ground. Nice firm connection. We'll inhale, fill up the lungs, and with this exhale, not only are we engaging our core muscles, we're going to lift the hips up off the ground high enough so you can get your block. I think I'm going to keep it at level 2, get it underneath, and then sit. Just get it into the right spot. Right there. Good. And I'm just going to open up the chest a little bit more by getting the arms and shoulders a bit more underneath. And then I can just rest my arms down by my side. And you're in a really restful back bend here, especially if you're sitting on a block or maybe a stack of blocks or books or a very firm pillow. And all you really need to do is hold here and breathe. Fill up the lungs. Release, and just feel the whole front body open. And just like those side bends, you can hold this as long as you'd like to. This is a wonderful posture to open up the whole front body. We're using it intentionally to help open up so we're ready for some rotations and twists for the spine. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready to come out of this posture, just take your time. Once again, I'll just press feet firmly into the floor, engaging the legs and glutes so I can lift and remove the block. Slowly and carefully come down. There's the ground. And go ahead and extend the legs out in front of you and perhaps the arms behind you for a nice lengthening sensation. You can kind of do a little banana pose where you just kind of bend, taking the legs and arms to one side, and then kind of swivel over to the other side if you'd like. Kind of getting into the hips, low back, and the sides of the body. All right, I'm going to hug the knees in once again, carefully roll to the side, and press back up to seated. All right, this time I'm going to sit on the block for this next pose. So just a very simple twisting posture. So sitting up nice and tall. Now what helps me by sitting on the block or something a little bit lifted, just tilts the pelvis in a way where I'm able to sit up a little taller. So if this feels too tall, you might want to come all the way down to the ground or just sit more flat and softly, maybe on a blanket if you'd like. All right, so here's our first rotation. We're going to break it down. We're going to think of the torso and the whole spinal column in three sections, kind of low, middle, and high. Alrighty? Let's start with the right hand, bringing it over to the side. Since I'm on a block, I'm just going to prop myself up on my fingertips. If you're closer to the ground, you can bring your palm to the floor. And that's really just going to help us maintain a lengthened torso. So I'm pushing into the floor and sitting up nice and tall, still facing forward. That's an in-breath. Exhale, let's return to the connection to our core, that abdominal lock. Inhale again and secure it. Now, we're going to start our rotation. We're going to start that rotation from that low belly area. So when you inhale, get tall, think of that as making space all the way up and down the spinal column. Exhale as best as you can, turning the belly button towards the right knee. Now, it may not turn very much. You'll find and feel a natural stop. And there's mine. So I didn't turn very far. Inhale, pushing into the floor, get tall, make more space. Now we're thinking about kind of the rib section, belly, exhaling. You can even use this free hand here just to help assist what is rotating here. And there's my stopping point. Now we're going to go across the chest, inhaling. You can even lead with the shoulder here, rotating. So shoulders, upper chest, until that stops. And then lastly, we'll think of neck and head. Inhale, tall, making space. I'm just gently turning the head until it comes to a natural stop. Don't have to force that rotation. And then I'm just going to hold here. I'm taking this free hand just to hold on to my right thigh or knee, whatever you can reach, just to hold yourself in place. And just continue to breathe. Each breath, each inhale is continuing to feel tall and lengthened. Exhale, maybe just a gentle pull of belly button in towards spine. Not too forcefully, because you're already in a rotation. You don't want to emphasize that too much or create too much tension there. You may not feel as comfortable as you'd like. So nice and tall, just holding. And just thinking of what's happening with the spine. So we're sitting up nice and tall, and it's just rotating on an axis here, all the way up through the neck. Now I'm finding a little bit more space where I'm able to turn a little bit more. Now I'm not over rotating. I'm not trying to pull with this hand on the thigh into the posture. I'm just holding naturally, using breath, using the muscles here. All right. Inhale, we're going to come out of the pose, get tall. Exhale, pull belly in just to secure that well extended spine, all that space you've created. And we're slowly unwinding, staying tall as can be as you come back to neutral. We'll just hold here. All the internals are just coming back to their normal place. So even think of like your internal organs getting a little bit of movement, maybe a little twist or a little squeeze. All right, let's do the other side. So left hand pushing down into the floor, just get tall. Remember, you're still facing forward. We haven't activated the twist just yet. Exhale, draw belly in. We'll do it one more time just to secure that. Good, now ready for the simple rotation. Breaking it down, low to high. Inhale, Exhale, belly button turning. Again, maybe using your hand as a little guide, turning until you don't turn anymore. At least the low belly part. Inhale, getting tall. Exhale, the belly and ribs. And these aren't big movements at all. Inhale, tall again. Exhale across the chest and this left shoulder. Noticing I'm not really, my head is turning, but it's only turning because the rest of my body's turning. And there's my stopping point. Now we'll turn the head. Inhale. And there we go. Sometimes we have a tendency to twist, but we start turning more from the upper region of the body. We end up turning our heads too soon. Not that that's incorrect, but if we want that full rotation through the entire column of the spine, we can really break it down and intentionally kind of move up the spinal column, with the head being the last part that moves. And there's my stopping point. And again, I just use this free hand now just to hold myself in place. Breathing, holding. You want to feel comfortable here. If you feel like you've rotated too far, just soften it up a little bit. Whether it's in the head or belly, just unwind a little bit because you're still in a twist. And the less forceful, actually, the longer you may be able to hold the pose, and maybe the greater benefit you'll gain from the posture. So again, this is wonderful for great mobility for the spine, flexibility for twists and rotations and side bends and back bends. It also conditions your core muscles. And even though we're not primarily focusing on the hips, this is good hip work too, because your hips are solid, grounded, while the upper body's rotating on that part of the axis. Okay, we're going to come out of the pose. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, pull belly in so we remain tall. And just slowly unwinding, coming back to neutral here. And I can feel everything kind of come back here. And just hold until everything settles. Take a breath or two. And finishing. We'll inhale, extend the arms all the way up. And exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.